Pull away the branches to reveal the entrance of a cave. It's quite dark.
Something interesting.
Ravel and Morgren, you guys can see into the cave using your dark vision. Rowan, it's quite dark in there.
What is my vision range? 5 feet? 10 feet?
Your vision range outside is fine. The issue is when you go underground or any place that doesn't have a light source, you are limited in what you can see. All you'll need to do is like pull out a torch or a lantern if you have one, and I can set you up with light.
Am I completely blind? Because if I can see 5 to 10 feet, I'm not gonna light a torch because I'm using a two-handed weapon.
Yeah, it is tricky. Let me see what you have. Yeah, a torch will be problematic for you because you've got a two-handed weapon, but we can say that you have a lantern just for ease. And I'm going to set you up with some light, and we're going to say that it's a hooded lantern, so you can limit how much the light extends. How many feet did you say you want? About 10 feet?
Yeah, that's fine for me.
Okay.
Is there someone with a light cantrip?
I don't think there is, and what I'm doing right now is turning off the lights. You guys will be able to see a little, and you can see Rowan's light, and you can see the cave continues. If you move into position, you will see.
Okay, I turn back and say, you can come now, Mark. You've been of help, just like Ravel.
Melo quickly approaches and continues to follow silently. Rowan, your rage, I think, does end after a short time, though, just so you know.
Yeah, I bet the minute is still over after taking up.
Okay, can I try to understand the craft of this place? Who made it? With a history check, maybe?
Yes, you can. Dwarves have an ability called... You can tell that this is definitely not Dwarven make. And that's about all you can tell about it. You see ahead of you that Ravel is sneaking. He is in stealth mode. So if you guys want to also be in stealth mode, just make your stealth checks as you move. Otherwise, I assume you're just moving at a cautious but normal pace. You can see as you enter, there is a branch in the passageways. One goes left, one goes right, and a staircase continues up into a main chamber. The walls are hewn. Looks like somebody actually made this. It's not natural. It's hard to tell who made it, according to Morgren. And you can see that several of the chambers have cave-ins, such as the one Ravel just walked into. The ground is actively caving in portions of this dungeon.
Tread lightly, we don't.
And Ravel, what you see there is a door that's been dislodged from its hinges, and it's laying on the staircase flat. And beyond that is a chamber with a pretty bad cave-in as well. You see that the chamber beyond the door is caved in.
I'm just like trying to be Ravel's shadow. Because I've not that great vision.
Ravel, you see another chamber. Like these look like they were kind of antechambers for whatever this complex once was, and it is also caved in from the back. Several blocks from the wall have spilled out into the room, covering whatever's purpose it originally was.
The monk?
Yeah, she's tagging along still, just in case. I'm assuming if nothing else, Osti can see what's going on the board.
Yes.
You've got a shallow staircase leading... Okay, stop right there, everybody. Two things happen very quickly. Ravel, you see a small staircase leading down right here, and then another staircase leading up right here. They're very shallow, maybe 2 or 3 feet. Here you can see a pretty bad cave-in and an actual entrance to a natural cave here that has been broken in or out, hard to tell. You hear a loud click from the north, and an arrow fires out down that corridor and narrowly misses Ravel. It came from this direction, down the hall. Then the next thing that happens, out of the rubble, Disturbed by the noise and Ravel's approach, a
Uh-oh.
large group of rats comes scurrying out of the rubble, surrounding Ravel's feet and proceeding to bite him. This is the initiative. I'm going to say Shield of Faith is about halfway. Shield of Faith, of course. Ravel, you were the fastest. You've been fired upon, and rats are at your feet. What do you do? Ravel slams the butt end of his staff down many times, but does not manage to squish any of the rats. All right, that hits. You manage to squish 2 of the rats. Okay. Morgren, what do you do?
Okay. So if I move, the terrain in which the others are is to be considered difficult because I'd like to reach this point. I don't know if I.
You can freely do that, yes. There is no difficult terrain between you and there, and your allies will let you pass.
Yeah, and try a melee attack.
You bring the hammer down, and you manage to squish 4 of the rats. However, you hear that click from the north again. Another arrow arcs down the hallway and makes a loud metallic clang as it bounces off your shield. No, the rats are actually under you.
Oh,
But you can enter their space. They're right here. But you can stand on their space, because it's just a swarm of rats.
Oh yeah, then I'm just staying here.
There? Okay.
I guess that looks occupied, the space.
A lot of rubble. Yeah, that would be difficult terrain.
I'm kind of like trying to not hit it with a sharp side rather than the flat side to like squash them.
You managed to squish 5 rats. The rats, basically the rats came scurrying out. They were blinded by Rowan's light from her lantern and hesitated. You guys squished a bunch of them, but now here they come scurrying forward. They have to be in the space to attack someone, so I'm going to kind of do a staggered thing like so. And Rowan, you dealt the most damage, so they're coming after you. They scurry up your legs, and you are able to dance a jig. And yeah, none of them managed to bite in. They're just scurrying around in a panic. For Rowan, squish. Squished 6 rats, and there are only a handful of rats left. Ravel, yeah, you can see all the way down there. What you see at the end of that hallway is a stone pedestal with a crossbow constructed into it, like built on top of it. It's kind of like a crossbow turret at the far end of that hallway. Does not seem to be spent. You're not sure why it didn't fire at you when you walked past this time. Ravel steps forward and begins squishing more rats. You got 1 of them there. You're gonna bring the butt end around and got 1 more. There is 1 rat left.
Okay, so the last one will be mine.
Drops the hammer and the last rat wiggles and squeaks. Its little feet are in the air and it dies.
Oh, the infidel rats.
No further threats present themselves. I'm ending the initiative order. You guys are out of combat and can move freely. I'll tell you the next time a threat appears. You could tell, Morgren, when you step down with your stone cunning ability that this 5-foot square that you're in, this one, clicked slightly. It depressed slightly when you stepped on it. And that seems to be triggering the trap because while you stand on it, it remains depressed. And it will not fire at other people because it's currently like in trigger mode by you standing on it.
Yeah. Can I see a rock around to put it on the door to keep it pressed?
Yes, you have several, the walls are built out of large blocks and in places they're falling in, so it's very easy to find a large block to lay down.
Yeah, so I pick up some rocks and
while he's picking up the rock, the barbarian is not the brightest and steps on the thing again.
I'm not a barbarian.
But I am.
I'm blessed by La Thunder.
And yep, the plate remains pressed down. After you step off Morgren, everybody is free to walk across the plate. There was a moment of alarm as Rowan steps on it and nothing else happens, so it's okay.
Who goes first?
I asked Morgren if what he knows of the caves.
Well, I know a little. It wasn't made by dwarves because it's ugly, so we didn't make it. It's kind of small and dark and it's full of rats. That's what I know so far.
I was expecting a little more insight from one of your race. I'll have to find out for myself. Step out.
Well, that's racist from you. You know, we dwarves don't know always anything about any rocks you can find on the ground. You know, we do other things. No,
Rowan
just
steps
saying.
forward. Hold on, Rowan. And this space right here, another arrow fires out from the north.
Oh.
Thunk, and actually hits you for 5 piercing
Hits me.
damage.
I'm gonna yell at the dwarf. Bring another rock.
Oh, that I can do. And here you are.
And it remains pressed down. It is now safe to cross.
Yeah. I venture a little.
All right, Rowan, right there again. Another arrow. Zing, right past you. It whistles right over your shield, or your shoulder, Morgren, but it misses both of you.
Morgan,
What about the
I'm
other
sure
ones?
you know what to do.
Ah, yeah. Because I'm the dwarf, I'm the one who beat the rock. Yeah, fine.
Because I can't move and get one.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So, can I find a rock near my position?
Yeah, there are plenty of sections of wall that are loose, and you can pull another block out and set it in that space.
Okay.
Do I see anything as I move up the tunnel?
You can make a perception check. Ravel, you're pretty sure, you're not positive, but you're pretty sure you've seen movement up on the ceiling somewhere around here.
I crouch low.
The rock is in place, Rowan. You can keep moving. Ravel, hold on there. Okay. Ravel, this thing has fallen out of the ceiling and landed on your head like an umbrella and snapped closed. You can't speak or see as this thing, it's a little hook. Those little hooked tentacles tie themselves together around Ravel's neck, and his face is now covered, and he can't speak or see.
Can you hear?
Not well.
Did it make any noise? Are we aware of anything?
I'll make one more check and see. No, it was very quiet, very silent. And you guys can go ahead and give me initiatives since part of the party is in a combat. Rowan, you are the fastest. Nothing's really changed for you. You haven't heard anything new. So continue as you were with your, but within the confines of a combat turn, you know. Yet another arrow.
The stairs. Yeah.
That's the stairs, yep. And another miss. The arrow whistles past you one more time.
Using my action to talk to Morgren. I guess we need another stone here.
Oh, I shall fetch it right away.
It's 20.
You can see quite clearly now it's a stone pedestal with a crossbow attached to it. There seems to be a purple gem set in the center of the pedestal that glows slightly each time it fires.
I'm gonna smash that thing.
You did so. It is now a pile of stone and wood rubble.
Now my anger has relieved.
Well done. Ravel.
Okay, so you said I couldn't speak, yep, so I can't cast spells.
It's kind of muffled speaking. I would say you can speak for spellcasting, but communication is difficult. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I cast Hex upon it and basically hit myself in the head from my head with my staff.
Okay, being careful not to whack yourself in the head, you have missed. One of the concerns is that although I let you cast, utter the words of magic for speech, you cannot breathe, so that's another concern. And Morgren, you went and got a rock. What else do you want to do with your turn?
Okay, I shall collect another rock just in case, and then move here and here.
You caught a glimpse of him as he turned the corner here.
Ah, okay. There's a strange habit hiding behind rocks.
Anything else you want to do, Morgren?
I shall shout to Rowan to call her, and then again my new initiative.
The shout came from this direction, Rowan. Ravel will continue to constrict. You can feel it tightening around your throat very hard, and that's all it can do with its turn. Ravel, you're the fastest.
I need to make
Oh.
a con save.
Yes, you do. To maintain concentration on curse. Never mind, you lost concentration. Being unable to breathe has broken your concentration on your spell.
I take 2 swipes at it.
That will hit. One good whack. That will hit. 2 good cracks at it. It will be funny when you round the corner, Morgan. You may see Ravel whacking himself in the head with a stick.
That's weird.
You heard them moving their stones and stuff further up the passage, so you figure they probably have overtaken you on the route you were on. So staying still maybe. It constricts again. This time it's unable to hold. It's being beaten, of course, so loosens its grip, does not hit that turn. And Morgren, go ahead. You can hear the sound of like a wet, dull thwack ahead of you down the corridor.
I call again row 1, telling, hey, come, Rebel is hit him himself with a stick. And then I move forward. Now, can I see the creature?
Yes, you see it's engulfed his head. It looks something like a fleshy umbrella. And you can see that it's got several bruises on it and is bleeding, and Ravel seems somewhat panicked in his motions.
I try to shine some Lathander's lights.
His soul racked. You see him glow slightly with Lathander's light, and you can tell that it's in a serious amount of pain, but is still alive and constricting. Rowan.
I'm yelling, that's not something I want to miss. I'm using my action to dash.
But you can see the situation now. Well, almost. You can tell that there's movement, and another thing, remember your lantern is hooded, so you can change the amount of light interacting with the environment for free once per turn. Morgren.
Well, what's happening? Some evil beast is on his head. Let me show you with some light.
You soul rack it again. You see the thing, finally, its tentacle arms along the bottom let loose, flopping uselessly across Ravel's chest, and the thing slides off his head into the floor, and Ravel goes, catching his breath. That was the only threat in this cavern, so initiative is over. You guys can move freely.
What kept you?
Let me try and do something for you. I cast Cure Wounds.
So 12 total.
The +3 is from Wisdom or from Disciple of Life?
Both. You have both a +3 from Wisdom and a +3 from Disciple of Life.
So it's 12. Okay.
Yes.
Dwarf on the shoulder and say, "Thank you, my friend." Just look under my feet. Oh,
Maylil was wandering about in the corridor to the south, blind and alone, so she lit a torch. So when you guys move south, you'll see some torchlight.
Oh, and here we are.